Welcome to my channel Bookish English 2. Do you want to know the secret of improving your English faster than ever before? Many learners study hard, memorize long lists of words, and spend hours with grammar books, but still they feel stuck. The truth is, English is not only about rules and vocabulary, it is about habits, practice, and connection. And today, we will read together 8 simple and powerful ways to improve your English. These ways are easy, but they can truly change your learning forever. First, we will talk about finding a partner or teacher, because English grows when you speak with real people. Then, I will show you how daily study habits can give you real progress without stress. After that, we will discover how to surround yourself with English, so it becomes part of your everyday life. We will also enjoy the culture of English-speaking countries, because learning a language is also learning a world. You will see why making mistakes is not a problem but a secret path to success. And we will also look at writing about your life, listening with transcripts, and finally, using YouTube and technology to learn anytime and anywhere. Stay with me until the end, because each way connects to the next one. And if you miss even one, you might miss the secret that makes them all work together. Chapter 1. Find a partner or teacher. When we start learning English, many of us think the most important thing is studying grammar books or memorizing long lists of vocabulary. Of course, those things can help, but they are not enough. English is a living language. It is something you use, not just something you study. This is why one of the most powerful steps you can take is finding a teacher or a language partner. Because when you practice with another human being, English stops being only rules and words on paper. It becomes real communication. And that is when you start growing faster than you can imagine. Think about it for a moment. You could spend 3 hours reading grammar explanations, trying to understand why one tense is different from another. You might get confused and tired, and still not remember everything. But then, imagine you have a partner. You speak with them for just 30 minutes. You listen to their words, you answer, you make mistakes, and they reply. Suddenly, the grammar is not only something you read, it is something you use in real life. That 30 minutes of speaking can be more powerful than 3 hours of silent study. This is the spike moment, the moment of realization. You can learn faster and remember more simply by speaking with one person than by studying for hours alone. Now you might be thinking, but I don't live in an English-speaking country. I don't have anyone near me who speaks English. And that is okay. Because in today's world, you don't need to travel far to find someone to practice with. You can go online and connect with people from all over the world. There are many platforms, like italki, Preply, HelloTalk, or even simple social media groups where learners meet and practice together. You can find a teacher if you want professional guidance, or you can find another learner who also wants to practice. Sometimes it is even easier to practice with another learner, because they understand your struggles and they are patient with you. If you want to work with a teacher, you get the advantage of feedback. A teacher can tell you why something sounds correct or incorrect. They can explain your mistakes, but more importantly, they can encourage you to try again. They will push you gently forward, helping you step by step. If you choose a partner, you get the advantage of friendship. You talk about your life, your hobbies, your ideas. You build trust, and slowly, English feels less like a school subject and more like a natural way to connect with people. Both ways are powerful, and you can even use both together. I know some learners feel shy about speaking. Maybe you feel your accent is not good, or your grammar is not perfect. Maybe you think people will laugh. But let me tell you this: nobody learns a language perfectly from the beginning. Mistakes are natural, and mistakes are necessary. If you never make mistakes, it means you are not learning. Speaking with a teacher or partner helps you accept mistakes as normal. In fact, your partner may make mistakes too, and together you can laugh, correct each other, and move forward. This is why practicing with another person gives you real confidence. It teaches you that English is not about perfection, it is about communication. Even if you cannot meet for long sessions, small steps matter. 10 minutes a day of speaking is better than 2 hours once a month. If you can have a voice chat, that's wonderful. If you cannot, even simple text messages in English with a partner can help. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to use English every day, in real situations, with real people. Over time, you will notice something amazing. Your brain starts to think in English more naturally. You stop translating every word, and you begin to respond automatically. That is the real power of having a teacher or partner. Here is a small example. Imagine you learn the word delicious from a vocabulary list. You read it once, you write it down, maybe you forget it tomorrow. But now imagine you are speaking with your partner. You tell them, "I ate pizza yesterday." They ask, "How was it?" And you answer, "It was delicious." Suddenly, that word is alive. You used it in a conversation, with real meaning. You will remember it next time, because you connected it to your life. That is the difference between studying alone and practicing with someone else. So, in this first step, I want you to take action. Don't just think about it, actually try. Look online, search for a teacher, or join a group where people practice English. If you cannot afford a teacher, find a free partner. There are always people who want the same thing as you to practice and to grow. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Millions of learners around the world are waiting for a partner just like you. This is why Chapter 1 is so important. Once you take this step, every other step becomes easier. When you have someone to talk to, your habit becomes stronger, your mistakes turn into lessons, and your confidence grows. It is the foundation of real learning. So today, I want you to make a promise to yourself. Find a teacher or a partner, and start speaking English, even if it is just a few minutes every day. Because the sooner you start using English, the sooner you will see your progress. Chapter 2: Build a Daily Study Habit. In Chapter 1, we talked about finding a teacher or partner, and we saw how powerful it is to practice English with another person. But here is the truth: even if you have the best partner or the best teacher, you will not see real progress unless you build a daily habit. Learning English is like growing a plant. If you water it a little every day, it grows strong and healthy. But if you forget about it for many days, and then give it a lot of water all at once, the plant becomes weak and dry. Your English is the same. A little practice every single day is more powerful than hours of study once in a while. Many learners make the mistake of waiting for the perfect time. They think, "I will study on the weekend, when I have more hours." But weekends come, and sometimes they are busy, and the study never happens. Or maybe they study a lot on one day, but then they stop for a week. This is not the way to build strong English. The secret is to make English part of your life every day, even if it is just for 10 minutes. Because 10 minutes every day is 60 minutes in a week, and those minutes add up. Over months, this habit creates real progress. The spike moment here is very important. Once you build a habit, you don't have to think about studying anymore. It becomes natural, like brushing your teeth or drinking water. You don't wake up and ask yourself, should I brush my teeth today? You just do it, because it is part of your life. When English becomes like this, the stress disappears. You don't feel guilty, you don't feel pressure, you don't keep postponing. You simply open your notebook, read a page, listen to a short podcast, or write a few sentences in your journal. It becomes automatic. And this is the true secret of daily learning: less stress, more progress. Let me give you an example. Imagine two learners. The first learner studies for 3 hours once every 2 weeks. They feel tired, they feel frustrated, and they forget most of what they studied because too much time has passed. The second learner studies for 10 minutes every single day. 10 minutes sounds small, but in 1 month, that person has practiced 300 minutes. And because it is daily, they remember more, they improve more, and they feel more confident. Who do you think will be better at English after a few months? Of course, the second learner. This is the power of habit. Now, how do you build this habit? The answer is, start small. Don't say to yourself, I will study 2 hours every day. That is too big, and you will give up. Instead, say, I will study 10 minutes every day. 10 minutes is easy. You can find 10 minutes even on your busiest day. And when you succeed with 10 minutes, you will feel proud, and sometimes you will even want to do more. But the habit begins small, and then it grows naturally. Another way to build a habit is to connect it to something you already do. For example, if you drink coffee every morning, you can listen to an English podcast while drinking it. If you take the bus to work, you can read a few pages of an English book. If you use your phone before bed, you can change the language to English and read some simple news. When you connect English to something you already do, the habit becomes stronger. It doesn't feel like extra work, it feels like a part of your normal life. And here is something very important. Be kind to yourself. Sometimes you will miss a day. Sometimes you will feel tired. That is okay. The key is not perfection, the key is consistency. If you miss one day, don't feel guilty, just continue the next day. What matters is that you keep coming back, again and again. Over time, you will look back and realize how much you have improved, simply because you kept the habit alive. This daily habit will also make Chapter 1 much easier. If you have a partner or teacher, you can use your daily time to prepare for your conversation. Maybe you review some vocabulary, or maybe you practice a question you want to ask. When you meet your partner, you feel more ready, and the conversation is more interesting. And after the conversation, you can use your daily time to write about what you learned, or review the mistakes you made. The habit gives your speaking practice a strong structure. Without a habit, even conversations with a partner can feel random and weak. With a habit, every conversation becomes part of a bigger journey. Remember, building a habit is like building muscles in the gym. At first, it feels small, and maybe even difficult. But every day you repeat it, the habit becomes stronger, and soon you don't even think about it anymore. It becomes part of who you are. And that is when English becomes natural, when you start thinking in English without translating, when you begin to trust yourself. So, in this second step, I want you to choose a small daily habit. Maybe it is writing 3 sentences in English every evening. Maybe it is listening to a short podcast every morning. Maybe it is sending one English message to your partner every day. Whatever it is, make it small, make it simple, and make it daily. If you do this, I promise you, after a few weeks, you will notice a change. After a few months, you will feel stronger, and after a year, you will look back and be amazed at how far you have come. That is the power of a daily study habit. It is not about big effort once in a while. It is about small effort every day. Build this habit, and your English will grow naturally, without stress, without guilt, and with real confidence. Chapter 3. Surround yourself with English. In Chapter 2, we learned the importance of building a daily habit, because small steps every day create real progress. Third. But here is the truth. A habit becomes stronger and easier when English is all around you. Many learners believe they can only learn well if they travel to England, America, or another English-speaking country. Of course, living in such a place helps, but the good news is this: you don't need to move anywhere. You can create your own English world right where you are. You can surround yourself with English every single day, and this will make your habit natural and exciting. Think about how children learn their first language. They are surrounded by it all the time. They hear it from their parents, from friends, from TV, from music. They don't sit down and study grammar books at the beginning. They absorb the language because it is everywhere around them. And you can do the same. You may not live in an English-speaking country, but you can bring English into your home, into your phone, into your daily life. This is the spike moment, the realization that you can live in English even if you don't live in an English-speaking country. One of the simplest things you can do is change your phone settings to English. Think about how many times you use your phone every day. Maybe you check messages, social media, or the weather. If your phone is in English, every time you look at it, you are practicing. You learn words like settings, update, delete, or search without even trying. These words become normal for you because you see them many times a day. It is a small change, but it has a big effect over time. Another powerful step is labeling items in your home. Take small sticky notes and write English words on them. Put mirror on the mirror, door on the door, window on the window, chair on the chair. Every time you see these notes, you read the word, and slowly, it becomes automatic in your mind. This is a simple way to create an English environment, even if you are alone. Your house becomes your English classroom. Music is another wonderful tool. Choose songs in English that you enjoy. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. Just listen, feel the rhythm, and slowly, some words will become clear. If you want, you can read the lyrics while listening. You can even sing along, which helps your pronunciation and confidence. The important thing is that you are listening to English in a fun way, because when learning is fun, it does not feel like hard work. Movies and TV shows can also help you surround yourself with English. Choose something simple, maybe even cartoons or shows for children, because they use clear language. At first, you can use subtitles in your own language. Then, after some time, switch to English subtitles. Finally, try watching without subtitles. This step-by-step method helps your ears adjust to the sound of English. And remember, it's okay if you don't understand everything. Even if you understand only 50%, your brain is learning and growing. YouTube is another treasure. There are thousands of English learning channels, and many of them are made for beginners. Some have subtitles, some explain slowly, and some are fun stories or lessons. You can choose what you enjoy. The important thing is to make YouTube a tool for learning, not just entertainment. If you create a playlist of good English videos, you will always have something ready to watch when you have a few minutes. Reading is another way to surround yourself with English. You don't need to start with long, difficult books. You can read simple news articles, short stories, or even social media posts in English. You can follow English pages on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Every time you scroll, you see English, and it becomes part of your daily environment. All of these small steps connect back to Chapter 2. When English is everywhere around you, your daily habit becomes easier. If you decide to study 10 minutes a day, but your phone is in English, your music is in English, and your home has English labels, those 10 minutes feel natural. It doesn't feel like something extra, it feels like something normal. English becomes part of your world. And here is something powerful. When you surround yourself with English, your brain starts to think in English without effort. Imagine you open your phone, and you see the word settings. You don't translate it anymore, you just know it. Imagine you hear the song lyric, "Don't give up," and it becomes part of your thoughts. Imagine you walk into your kitchen, see the word fridge, and your brain says it naturally. This is when English moves from study into life. Of course, at first it might feel strange. You may feel uncomfortable when your phone is not in your language. You may feel tired when watching English movies. But remember, this is normal. The beginning is always a little difficult. But if you continue, your brain adjusts, and soon, you feel proud and excited. That is the reward of surrounding yourself with English. You stop being only a student, and you start living as a real English user. So, I want you to take action today. Change one thing in your environment. Maybe change your phone settings. Maybe put a sticky note on your desk. Maybe add one English song to your playlist. Just one small step, and tomorrow, add another. Slowly, your world will fill with English. And the more English around you, the stronger your habit becomes, and the faster your progress will be. That is the power of surrounding yourself with English. It makes learning natural, it makes practice automatic, and it prepares your mind for real communication. You don't need to move to another country. You can bring the English world into your life right now. Chapter 4. Enjoy English culture. In Chapter 3, we talked about surrounding yourself with English. We saw how you can change your phone settings, listen to music, watch movies, or label things at home to make English part of your life. But now, let's go even deeper. Learning a language is not only about words and grammar, it is also about the world behind the words. This world is called culture. Culture is what gives meaning to the language. And when you enjoy the culture, learning English becomes not only easier but also more exciting. Think about it. If you only study words on a page, sometimes you feel bored. You repeat the same lists, and you ask yourself, why am I learning this word? But when you connect that word to a real story, a real tradition, or a real song, it becomes alive. Suddenly, the word has feeling, it has context, it has life. That is why enjoying English culture is one of the most powerful ways to improve your learning. You are not just memorizing, you are experiencing. Movies are one of the easiest and most enjoyable ways to enter English culture. When you watch a movie, you are not only listening to words, you are also seeing how people live, how they talk, how they express emotions. You hear jokes, you see gestures, you notice body language. This gives you a full picture of how English works in real life. For example, when a character says, "What's up?" you see their smile, their relaxed style, and you understand it means more than just hello. You see culture in action, and the more you watch, the more natural English feels to you. Music is another window into culture. Every song tells a story. Sometimes it is about love, sometimes about dreams, sometimes about challenges in life. When you listen to English songs, you are not only practicing your ears, you are also feeling the emotions of another culture. A song can teach you rhythm, pronunciation, and even new slang. And if you sing along, you improve your speaking too. The beautiful thing is, music stays in your mind. You might forget a grammar rule, but you will remember a song lyric. That lyric becomes a part of your memory, and with it, the culture becomes part of you too. Reading about traditions and festivals is another way to enjoy culture. For example, if you read about Thanksgiving in America, you learn not only the word turkey, but also the meaning of family dinners, gratitude, and sharing food. If you read about Christmas in England, you don't only see words like Christmas tree or Santa Claus, you also understand the feelings of joy, gifts, and lights in the cold winter. These cultural stories give words power. You don't just remember them, you feel them. The spike moment here is powerful. This is the moment you realize that English is not only a language, it is a window into another world. It is a door you can open to step into new stories, new music, new traditions, new ways of thinking. When you enjoy culture, English is no longer something you are forced to study. It becomes something you want to experience. You look forward to it. You are excited to see what new song, movie, or festival will teach you next. This connects perfectly to Chapter 3. When you surround yourself with English, you are already seeing and hearing the language every day. Now, by enjoying culture, you go deeper. You are not only listening to the sounds, you are also understanding the meaning behind them. It is like moving from black and white into color. The language becomes richer, brighter, and more interesting. And here is another benefit. When you know about culture, you can connect with people better. Imagine you meet someone from America, and you ask, "Did you enjoy Thanksgiving?" Their eyes light up, because you understand something important to them. Or imagine you talk to someone from England about football, or tea, or their favorite Christmas movie. Suddenly, the conversation is warm, friendly, and real. Culture gives you keys to open doors in relationships. Of course, you don't need to learn everything at once. You can start small. Watch one movie in English this week. Listen to one English song every morning. Read one short article about a tradition. These small steps will slowly open the cultural world to you. And soon, you will notice something amazing. Learning English feels less like schoolwork and more like fun. Some learners say, "But I don't understand everything when I watch a movie or listen to music." And that is okay. You don't need to understand everything. Even if you understand only a part, you are still learning. And the more you repeat, the more you understand. It is like a puzzle. At first, you only see a few pieces, but slowly, the picture becomes clear. The important thing is to enjoy the process, because if you enjoy it, you will continue. And if you continue, you will improve. So, in this chapter, I want to give you a challenge. Choose one cultural activity in English this week. Maybe it is watching a film. Maybe listening to an album. Maybe reading about a holiday. Don't study it like homework. Just enjoy it. Feel it. Let yourself laugh, sing, or be curious. And notice how much easier it feels to remember words and expressions when they come with culture. That is the power of enjoying English culture. It turns language into life. It gives meaning to the words you learn. It connects you with people and traditions. And most importantly, it makes your English journey exciting. Remember, English is not only about learning, it is about experiencing a whole new world. Chapter 5. Make mistakes and learn from them. In Chapter 4, we talked about enjoying English culture movies, music, stories, and traditions. But when you start enjoying culture, you also begin to use English more in real life. You talk about songs, you write about movies, you share your thoughts with friends. And when you do that, something natural happens. You make mistakes. Many learners feel afraid of mistakes. They think, if I say it wrong, people will laugh at me. Or if I write it wrong, I will feel embarrassed. But here is the truth. Mistakes are not your enemy. Mistakes are your teacher. Without mistakes, there is no progress. Think about a small child learning to walk. The child does not stand up and run on the first try. They fall down many times. But every fall is part of the learning. Every fall makes the legs stronger. Every fall teaches balance. And one day, after many mistakes, the child finally walks. Nobody laughs at the child for falling. Everyone smiles, claps, and says, "Good job. Try againer." That is exactly how you should think about your English mistakes. Each mistake is not a failure. It is a golden step of progress. The spike moment here is powerful, when you realize that your mistakes are not problems, but treasures. They are golden steps on your journey. Every mistake tells you where you can grow. Every mistake is like a light that shows you the next step. Without mistakes, you would never know what to improve. But with mistakes, you are guided forward. Suddenly, the fear of mistakes disappears, and in its place comes pride. You are proud of your mistakes, because they prove that you are learning. Let's make this clear with examples. Imagine you are speaking to a friend, and you say, "She go to school every day." Maybe your friend corrects you, "She goes to school every day." At that moment, you feel a little uncomfortable. But think about what happened. Before the mistake, you didn't know the correct form. After the mistake, you learned it. That mistake gave you a lesson you will never forget. The next time you speak, you will probably say it correctly. The mistake became a golden step. Or imagine you are writing a message, and you spell a word wrong. Someone points it out. At first, you feel embarrassed. But then, you write it again, this time correctly. And because you made the mistake once, you remember it much more strongly than if you had just studied it in a book. The mistake made the words stick in your memory. That is why mistakes are not only useful, they are necessary. Here is something else to remember. Nobody speaks perfect English all the time, not even native speakers. They forget words, they mix up grammar, they start sentences and then change them. Mistakes are part of every language, for every person. So why should you feel ashamed when you make them? You are not worse than others. You are human. And being human means learning through trial and error. This connects beautifully to Chapter 4. When you enjoy culture, you will naturally use English more. You might sing along to a song and say a word wrong. You might watch a movie and misunderstand a line. You might read about a tradition and mispronounce the name. But all of these mistakes are chances to learn. They show that you are brave enough to step into real English. They show that you are alive in the language. And when you learn from them, you move forward with confidence. I want you to see mistakes as a sign of courage. Every mistake proves that you are trying. Many people stay silent because they are afraid to be wrong. But silence teaches you nothing. Speaking, writing, trying, even if you are wrong, teaches you everything. So, the more mistakes you make, the more courage you have, and the faster you grow. Let's imagine two learners. The first learner studies quietly, memorizes words, and avoids speaking because of fear. The second learner speaks every day, makes many mistakes, but keeps going. After 1 year, who will be better? The second learner. Why? Because they turned mistakes into golden steps. They learn through action, not just memorization. This is why you should not hide your mistakes. In fact, celebrate them. Write them down in a notebook. Look at them with curiosity, not with shame. Ask yourself, what did this mistake teach me? You will discover that every error holds a small gift. And when you collect these gifts, your English becomes stronger and stronger. Remember also that making mistakes in conversations is not the end of the world. People are usually kind. They do not focus on your errors. They focus on your effort. Many will respect you for speaking another language. They will understand what you mean, even if your grammar is not perfect. So, relax. Smile at your mistakes. They are part of your story. In fact, some of your best memories in learning English will come from mistakes. You might laugh about a funny mispronunciation. You might tell friends about a time you used the wrong word and created a silly sentence. These stories will not hurt you. They will remind you that you were brave enough to try. And in the end, they will make you proud. So here is your challenge for this chapter. In the next week, try to make at least 3 mistakes in English. Yes, you heard that right. Try to make mistakes. Speak more, write more, practice more, and don't worry about being perfect. Then, after you make those mistakes, look at them and see what they teach you. You will discover that mistakes are not the end, they are the beginning. This is the true secret. Mistakes are golden. They are not stones blocking your path. They are steps building your staircase. Each mistake lifts you higher. And when you look back, you will see that every success in your English journey was built on the foundation of mistakes. That is why you should not fear them. You should thank them. Chapter 6. Use technology, writing, and YouTube. In the last chapter, we discovered that mistakes are golden steps. Every mistake shows us the way forward. And now, in this final chapter, we will bring everything together. We will talk about how technology, writing, and YouTube can become your powerful tools. This chapter is important because it will show you that you are never alone in your English journey. You carry the tools of learning in your pocket, on your phone, on your computer, and in your daily life. And when you know how to use them, English learning becomes unlimited. Let us begin with writing. Many learners forget how powerful writing can be. Speaking is important, but writing is like slowing down your mind and putting your thoughts into English step by step. One of the best ways to do this is to start a journal. It does not have to be long or perfect. Even 1 or 2 sentences every day can make a difference. For example, you can write, "Today I went to the market. I bought apples. I felt happy." These are simple sentences, but they are your sentences. They come from your life, your thoughts, and your feelings. When you write about your life, you connect English to your world, and every time you write, you build confidence in forming sentences. Now, imagine doing this every day. At first, you may only write a few words, but soon, you will write more. A week later, you may write a paragraph. A month later, you may write a full page. You will look back and see how much you have grown. The best part is, when you write about your life, you are also creating a personal story in English. That story is only yours, and it becomes a record of your progress. Next, let's talk about podcasts and listening with transcripts. Listening is one of the most difficult skills for learners, but also one of the most powerful. Many students feel frustrated because they listen to native speakers and cannot understand everything. But here is the secret: you don't have to understand everything. You only need to practice listening again and again. And one of the best ways to do this is to choose podcasts or videos that have transcripts. A transcript is the text version of the audio. When you listen and read at the same time, something magical happens. You hear the sound, and you see the words. Your brain connects them. Slowly, listening becomes easier, and you understand more. Think about it like training your ears. At first, the words feel too fast, but with practice, your ears become stronger. The transcript helps you check what you missed. You will realize that you know more words than you thought. You just need to connect the sound and the text. And the more you practice, the more confident you will feel in real conversations. Finally, we come to YouTube. This platform is one of the greatest gifts for English learners today. YouTube is full of lessons, tips, stories, and even subtitles. It is like a library that is open all the time, and it is free. You can find videos on grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, or just simple conversations. You can watch short clips or long lessons. You can even follow channels that speak slowly and clearly for beginners. The secret here is to use YouTube with focus. There are many distractions on the internet, but if you choose wisely, YouTube becomes your best teacher. Now here comes the spike moment, when you realize that technology makes learning English unlimited. Think about it. You can write in your journal anytime. You can listen to podcasts while walking, cooking, or traveling. You can watch YouTube videos early in the morning or late at night. You don't need to wait for a classroom. You don't need to wait for a teacher. The classroom is in your hand. The teacher is in your pocket. Learning can happen everywhere and at any time. This is the real power of technology. It breaks the walls of learning and gives you freedom. And here is the best part. Technology connects with all the other steps we have learned. Remember Chapter 1, when we talked about finding a partner or teacher? Technology makes that easy. You can talk with people online. Remember Chapter 2, about daily habits? Technology helps you build those habits with reminders, apps, and online tools. Remember Chapter 3, surrounding yourself with English? Technology allows you to set your phone, your music, and your videos in English. Remember Chapter 4, enjoying culture? You can watch English movies and listen to English songs online. Remember Chapter 5, Making Mistakes. Technology gives you safe spaces to make mistakes, like writing comments, posting messages, and getting feedback. Every chapter is supported by technology. So now, at the end of this journey, you can see the full picture. You start by finding a partner, you build a habit, you surround yourself with English, you enjoy the culture, you accept mistakes, and you use technology. Together, these steps create a circle of learning. Each step supports the other, and if you follow them, you will improve your English much faster than you ever imagined. Let me remind you of something very important. English learning is not about being perfect. It is about being consistent. It is about being brave enough to make mistakes, curious enough to explore culture, and smart enough to use the tools around you. And now, with technology, you have everything you need. All you need to do is start. And now you know 8 powerful ways to improve your English. But always remember this: knowing the ways is not enough. You need to take action today. Even the smallest step can change your learning journey. So don't wait for tomorrow. Choose one way right now and begin. Maybe you write one sentence in your journal. Maybe you watch one English video. Or maybe you speak one line to a partner. That small step is the beginning of big progress. If you found this video helpful, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment to tell me which way you will try first. Your journey is important, and I want to be with you step by step, guiding you, encouraging you, and celebrating your success. Together, we can make your English better every day.